To be completely honest, I haven't seen anything about Dehya until the livestream came around, but a lot of stuff has happened, and I've heard that she isn't really the greatest character to ever be done. No matter what I say about this, I'm the villain in someone else's story. If I say Dehya is good, I'll get flamed. If I say Dehya is bad, I'll get flamed. And if I say nothing, you already know what'll probably happen. Anyways, sub and like if you enjoyed, it would really mean a lot if we could reach 2k subs soon. Thanks, I really appreciate it, guys. We're very, very close. It's really early for me to say this, and I haven't exactly seen any leaks about Dehya, so take what I say with a grain of salt, but by no means am I trying to prevent anyone or sway anyone into pulling for her. I don't exactly think Dehya's kit makes much sense. She doesn't seem like a completely defined character on the surface. Her kit seems like it's meant to be a heavy-hitting tank, minus the heavy hitting and the tank part. It's just not clear what they really want her to play as. Her skill puts down a field that will increase resistance to interruption, and will perform a coordinated pyro attack when an opponent gets hit. This field will also transfer a portion of the damage taken on field to Dehya. This damage transfer mechanic isn't something we really have seen before, and I don't think it's that great, because over time she will eventually take too much damage to the point where she needs to be healed, and if you switch off of her when she's weak, that already spells danger. On top of that, in order to top up Dehya and to keep her healthy, she needs to be healed, which means that you have to have two defensive-oriented characters in the party, which isn't really the greatest idea to do. Keeping your defensive character alive is important, and if she can't exactly do that job all too well, it's not exactly looking too great for her. On top of this, her burst seems like it's more on the offensive side. She continuously inflicts pyro damage to nearby opponents, and when I say continuously, I feel like that really implies that this will be automatic, which isn't really a good thing, because you won't be able to use Xingqiu or Yelan during this state, two of the best hydro characters in the game. I'm hoping that her scaling will make up for this, and that's kind of hopium seeing how she's on the standard banner now. I'm not saying she's on the standard banner because of her kit, but it really is going to lower my expectations. Seeing how she has two different purposes, I feel like she will possibly have some split scaling, and as we all should know, having two completely different roles or some sort of split scaling isn't really going to be good for certain characters. Think about Xinyan for example. She's not exactly the greatest at what she's meant for. Xinyan can be either used as a shielder or a physical DPS, and she's not really good at either of those roles, because you can't really build into both of them at the same time, and I feel like this could possibly be the same case for Dehya. I can understand what Hoyo is trying to accomplish with her design, but it just doesn't really make sense. She's definitely unique and interesting to some degree, and it honestly comes to her execution and her performance. There have been some people hoping that this will be like the Kokomi situation where Dehya is secretly very good. I appreciate the optimism, guys, but I don't think that's gonna happen. The thing about Kokomi is that she was always good. She didn't need the clamp set to be good, she didn't need Dendro, and she for sure as hell didn't need to crit. Her hydro application and defensive utility was always great. I can't exactly say the same thing about Dehya, to be honest, mainly because she is the newest character and she isn't exactly in the game yet, but she doesn't have a clear purpose. Do they want her to do damage? Do they want her for defensive utility, or both? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't really help that she's pyro either, which is arguably one of the most offensive focused elements in the game. I don't think she'll be as good as Sheng Lang, Hu Tao, or Yoimiya for damage. She won't exactly be as defensive or utility focused as Zhongli or a lot of other supports. Maybe she could have the same utility as Thoma in a Burgeon team. Again, I have no idea how well she could perform, guys. What's the reason to use her over other characters? I mean, I guess design and gameplay wise she might be fun, but that's subjective. But in my opinion, a lot of the fun gets sucked out of a character knowing that they aren't potentially good. I know that sounds really meta-slave-ish thing to say, but that's just what I think. I think her performance will really depend on her scaling, potential new artifacts, characters, teams, and weapons. It sounds like hopium, but I'm trying to be optimistic here. It's just not looking good for Dehya in my opinion. I honestly wouldn't wish for her if I was more interested in her kit. I just don't really want another pyro character, to be honest. I'm honestly wondering why they put her on the standard banner in the first place. Is it because they intend for her to be underwhelming? Because the way I see it is that they want you to make you feel terrible for losing 50-50. They don't want you to feel happy about losing. They want you to feel the need to swipe your card. And if that's the case, then I don't exactly know what to say to that. Thanks for watching, guys. I never really intended to talk about Dehya's kit before her release, but the entire situation really caught my attention because I've never seen this community so unified about a character's performance before they were even released. Anyways, sub and like if you enjoyed. It would really mean a lot if we could reach 2k subs soon. We're very, very close to achieving that. Have a good night and day wherever you're at, and I'll see you all next time. Peace and take care, guys.